Hello, everybody. I am your host, Henry Galliot, and welcome back to Bring On the Entertainment, episode 19. I got a special guest with me, buddy. He actually has his own podcast. His name is
Yeah,
Chauncey. I'm sorry.
it's okay.
Man,
It's
I
okay.
messed up before.
My name's Chauncey Telese. I host a
Chauncey.
podcast called LA Podfidential on the LAFC Football Network. We do
Nice.
we do LA sports, we do movies, we do comic book stuff. We basically do a lot of everything.
Damn, that's like a good variety there, man. I was trying to do that of like my shows. I was trying to do slice of life, just regular stuff, then podcast, and then politics and movies, but that just kind of didn't work out there. So I'm just gonna kind of like go back to my basics here. But yeah, man. So how you doing exactly today?
I can't complain. It's a nice little Saturday. Yourself?
Pretty good. I had a little bit of a Twitter spat of like a person I really admire on Twitter, like a YouTuber. I'm not gonna mention his name here, but it was pretty funny. I just said, hey man, quit complaining about stuff you're gonna hate and just, focus on what you like. And he just blocked me after that. It was pretty funny. But whatever. It is what it is. I don't want to get into that, but yeah, man. So you, as you said before, you have a lot of interests, but one of them I think we can all connect to is movies. You're a big movie guy, and didn't you like interview somebody big a couple weeks ago?
Well, let's see. In the last few weeks, I've had Scott Mendelson as the box office guy at Forbes, and then I had Clayton Davis as the awards guy at Variety, and then this past week I had Drew McWeeny, who's like a legendary LA film critic.
Oh damn, that's like all of them, man. Can you get me some hookups there? Just kidding.
Yeah, you just have to like ask nicely, and someone will eventually say yes.
All right, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get a couple more special guests on this show, but we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, so you guys were talking about the box office, and we'll get into that later. But we're gonna get into a couple more topics here, and I think the last one was sort of like play into like the main topic, which is like what's gonna be the box office for the whole year, and like how it's gonna affect 2022, 2023, and like what are the patterns we're gonna see. So before we get into that, we're going to get into these four topics here. So the first one, this actually just dropped yesterday. It is
Mhm.
Michael B. Jordan is developing a Superman project for HBO Max, and he may take on the role actually. So this is very fascinating to me. So like before I get my thoughts, what are your opinions of this? Like just out of the gate.
I don't know. I think it's a weird choice just because I think we've kind of done Superman a lot, and they're already developing the J.J. Abrams one. So, I mean, good on him for using his juice to get something like that made. But I don't ultimately know if it'll work or even actually get made, or go down the stretch, I should say. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't.
It just seems like you have two dueling Superman projects. JJ's probably going to win, or they can just give it'll be a smaller movie, and maybe something will come of it. But I think it's a weird IP choice for him.
Yeah, it's actually going to be a series, not a
Uh,
movie.
oh, okay. My bad. I missed that part.
Nah, it's okay. Movie, series, they're kind of both the same thing these days, but
Mm,
it's all content. Just kidding.
right.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, going back to what you were saying, I would much rather prefer this over the J.J. Abrams Superman movie. I mean, no offense to J.J., but I just think he needs to take a break from IP. I just feel like I mean, you know, yeah. I mean, I did like Force Awakens and I did like his two Star Trek movies, but Rise of Skywalker kind of bruised his career a bit.
I
I
don't
don't
think
think it
he
was.
really did. Like he's kind of playing with house money on that one because he came in for someone else, and
Yeah,
even though it was kind of a mess and poorly received, like I think he's still very much okay.
yeah.
Because he having launched Star Trek and Star Wars, I think he's okay. And
Okay,
he's got is so much like industry like goodwill and credibility with the TV side as well.
totally. I definitely agree with that. And yeah, but going back to this project here, I mean, I think Michael B. Jordan is like a very good, talented actor. I think he's like really solid. He's a true geek. He's a nerd. He loves this stuff, and I just really hope it gets through because like one of the most frustrating things about WB is that a lot of the projects they announce, like for DC, don't actually happen. It's like how many iterations of the Flash movie did we get before we actually got like a solid concrete
Hmm.
one? It was like like 6, 7 years, and the Batman Robert Pattinson movie that wasn't really supposed to be. It was supposed to be Ben Affleck. Then that just got shifted over in that Jared Leto movie. got canned. It's just guys, just pick a couple projects, and they seem to be doing this. They finally got out of this rut and just commit to them, right? It's just don't have these like two competing things just kind of going for space there, you know?
Hmm. I just don't think. I think they just don't know what they want to be. Like I really don't. Like they wanted to be Marvel, then that didn't work out, and they're like, well, let's just do fun individual ones, and if we want to, they can be in something together. But they just sort of messing around, which is kind of fun because you gotten some really great stuff out of it, like Aquaman, Wonder Woman. I'm a Birds of Prey guy. Like you gotten some fun individual stuff,
I do love
and
Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey is such a fucking good movie. I don't care what anybody says. That
mm,
movie is so underrated. You know, it's so good.
like outside of Batman though, nothing's well. Actually, I mean Aquaman and Wonder Woman worked, but I mean outside of Batman, they don't have something solid they can cling to because even like Man of Steel didn't do as well as they would have liked it to.
All right. Well, it still made 600 million, so that's not like nothing.
It's not, but at the same time, like it wasn't with like with Nolan blessing it and it being a Zack Snyder movie. You're like, well, it's got to, and this is gonna launch something. It just didn't. And then they tried to like, well, we'll just do Dawn of Justice, and then that it like legally made money, but it like was so poorly received that they had to like course correct big time with Justice League, and even that was a disaster.
Yeah, that was a full disaster there, and they're still feeling the repercussions of that later. Even though I kind of feel like the fan base should kind of just move on. Look, you guys got your Snyder cut. Everybody came home happy. The movie was great. Everybody celebrated. You know, it's time to see what DC does. You know,
The
they got
terrorist
a
one.
I wouldn't call them terrorists.
I
You know, it's
mean, I'm kidding, but like, not
you know.
really, because like,
Look,
you
dude,
know,
there are way worse fandoms out there. Like, I think the Fandom
mm,
Menace is like way worse than like the
it's not
Snyder
even
fan.
that. It's just like the people who are like they got it. It's like, well, now they have to let him do it again. I'm like, they're not gonna. They gave him 40 million to just move on. Here's your cut and goodbye. Go to Netflix. But they like, can't let it go. And it's like, can you please, people, please just move on. Move on with your
Yeah,
lives. Stop demanding like, oh, now David Ayer gets his Squad cut. No, thank you. I don't think it would be demonstrably better, and just accept that sometimes things don't work, and they'll reboot it. You don't need to keep bothering everybody online and doxing people and sending threats because
there you
that's
go.
yeah, no, you know what I mean.
I
Like
totally agree with you, man.
one,
Yeah, totally. So yeah, I think that says everything about that one there. So we're gonna move on to the second topic here, which is Marvel Studios Blade found a director, and actually this is actually one I actually really like. Like he's done a lot of great documentaries. It's Bassam Tarquiq. You know, he did this movie back in 2020 called Micheal Mongiel. I'm totally butchering that name, but it's a really good movie starring Riz Ahmed. It's about the rap
mm-hmm,
underground thing. It's like Six Underground, but if it was like very if it was like early 90s
mm-hmm.
David Fincher, you know, it was actually a pretty fun stylized movie, and I think for like a type of movie that they're going for with the Blade, I think that's kind of a good fit there. I know like a lot of people kind of complain about the Marvel directors that they get, but to be honest with you, like I know this is gonna be a hot take, but honestly, I feel like them like getting indie directors can like this is something I kind of hate about like comic book film culture right now is that they don't use these comic films to expand their broad horizon of cinema. Like you know, like I think, and it's also something about film Twitter as well is that you know, hey, if you liked Black Widow and you like Kate Shortland, check out some of her other films like Belavov stuff there, and because she's done like a bunch of great stuff that I've seen here. The Belavov record stuff there. There was another one back in 2013 that I really liked. So like she does a lot of great stuff, and I feel like you know like these Marvel movies could be like a great potential for more people to like expand their like film horizons with like new directors they've never heard of before. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so like when you like so like if you go see their other movies and when you go see like Blade, you see oh there's some influences right there, and you can kind of see them there. It's just people don't check out their movies. It's kind of weird, you know.
Yeah, I tried to do that myself. I mean, I had already been a fan of the writer when Nomadland had come out, so I was familiar with Chloe Zhao. But like, once I saw Nomadland, I'm like, oh, okay, that's what Eternals is probably going to be. And the trailer bore it out. I'm like, I can see where she was interested in this, and I can see what of herself she brought to it. James Gunn, same thing. Like I had seen Super and Slither, and you see Guardians, you're like, yep, that makes total sense. That's a total James Gunn movie, just not
Yeah,
rated R. Suicide Squad looks more like in his vein too. Like I can see the tracks, but most
yeah,
people don't want to do that. Like
yeah,
they have their thing, which is cool, but like it helps sometimes to look to see what the people have done.
yeah.
Um, I mean, not always. Like, I don't see much of cop car in like John Watts Spider-Man movies, but that's okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
totally.
but I can see a lot of Peyton Reed's other stuff in Ant-Man, for
Oh,
instance.
totally. Yeah, speaking about John Watts, dude, I gotta say, man, like out of the MCU movies, those ones are actually probably my favorite because they take the best elements of like what Marvel movies are and like these great team up movies with these great character
Hmm.
dramas and mixing genres. There, I think they're kind of like the perfect blend of like what Marvel movies should be. It's like taking a genre, like a high school genre, and
Hmm.
like putting it with like a great character moments and also and they've had great villains. So those to me have been like the best MCU films so far. And we'll get into like what No Way Home is going to do at the box office later. But I kind of wished I just wish if like I just wish like both film Twitter and like comic book movie Twitter could just sort of like kind of like have like this great moment to come together because again like it's kind of like the great bridge between like mainstream stuff and indie stuff and you can just the possibilities of like expanding your horizons are like infinite.
Well, the thing is, like, you have to remember that that shit's like so not real life. Like the like the debates that are being had are totally online. Like in the real world, like this is not happening. If like film, I said this a lot with like my Scott Mendelson podcast, and we talked about this like a lot. Is if film Twitter were real, like In the Heights would have made like 65 million its opening weekend, and like Birds of Prey would have made like 100, and other stuff like that. But that's just not how like the average moviegoer doesn't care about that. We'll get into that with box office later, but like you can tell like they don't care. Like they're not hearing any of that stuff. Like all
Yeah.
that shit's just noise.
It's a real shame, man, because again, there are so many. There's a lot of great indie movies out there, and man, In the Heights is such a tragedy. And we'll get into like that later. I know I keep saying that a lot, and a lot. So we'll get into
That's
it
okay.
later, but
That's
it's
podcast
cool.
talk.
It's cool, but yeah, I think we've like moved on from that. But I played. I'm pretty excited for. No
Me
date
too.
yet, but it's gonna be pretty cool.
Me
All right,
too.
so and the third one, this is one that I was like just so fucking relieved about. So Free Guy, right? The new
Hmm.
Ryan Reynolds movie is directed by Sean Levy, who did Real Steel and the Pink Panther remake. Um,
And this is I think yeah this is where I leave you and Night of the Museum movie or at least
yeah,
the first one.
yeah, and he also did. Actually, no, he did all three of them. Actually,
Oh,
he
did he?
did.
Okay.
He did all three of them. Damn, that guy's commitment. And what else did he do? Oh, he also produced Stranger Things and directed a couple episodes right there. So
There you go.
the dude is like a definition of a journeyman director, which we
Hmm.
we don't see a lot of these days. But that's kind of guy. But dude, from these reactions, man, it appears as if he like has made the blockbuster of the summer, man. Because like, holy shit, these reactions, I am like very shocked by. I this was probably my most anticipated movie of the summer of this
Really.
year. You're like, I there was something about the trailers that made me just attached to the movie so
Hmm.
much. And from what I'm seeing, it's like really, it's been really good. The positive reaction has been really surprising. I'm just like, it's not going to be awful.
Hmm.
Like I was kind of let down by a lot of I was let down by like F9 this summer and
Oh, I
a
love
couple of other
F9.
films. You did?
I
Okay, well
did.
that's cool. That's cool. But yeah. So like it's kind of cool to see this original film, get some good reviews there because, like, Hollywood makes a lot of original blockbusters, but I feel like Tomorrow War and Free Guy we're gonna try to be the way to pivot us back into more original blockbusters. But Tomorrow War just to me just kind of just didn't click well, with me at least.
I mean, with Three Guy, like I just feel I don't know how that's gonna go over, just because it feels like one of those movies that's come out already. Feels
Yep.
like they had so many starts and stops with like its release date, which is understandable. Like a lot of people went through that, but like they've tried so hard to make it happen. I don't know if it is. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't. It just doesn't seem like it has a lot. Like it doesn't feel like a lot of people are anticipating it. But I could be wrong. Like we don't
Yeah.
know anything right now, but it does feel like it's gonna get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, I hope not because man, I want some original film to like survive this year. I've kind of like accepted the fact that like F9, Black Widow, and Quiet Place are going to be the highest blockbusters, but I kind of want to see like a couple more original films. Like I know Old's doing pretty good at the box office right now, but
Which is
stuff like
technically not an original.
it's tech. That's not even original either. So
Or a
damn.
graphic novel. Well, I
Yeah,
mean, technically, but you know.
yeah, but that means Green Knight isn't knew either. So fuck. Okay. So anyway, I take that back because now I look kind of stupid. Anyway,
That's okay. Not, I didn't know it until last week. I was like, oh, it is?
yeah,
Okay,
but
well, how about that?
but I just kind of hope there's a couple of new to us, IP that can break through the barriers and hope they can,
I
get
mean, Werewolves Within, like I saw that last week, and I didn't realize that was like a computer game.
yeah,
I'm like, that's weird that Ubisoft is producing it. And it's like, oh, based on like the. I'm like, okay, cool. I guess it was a computer game, but I didn't care.
yeah, fair enough.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's it. It's kind of crazy. You kind of think of all these original movies that you think are original, but they're actually based on something else. And it's like, damn, that kind of goes to testament of how good the filmmaking is. But yeah, Free Guy, I'm pretty excited for. I hope it's a monster hit, man. I hope it breaks out. I hope it's good. It has a nice sweet spot in like mid August. I know James Gunn's Suicide Squad's gonna be there, but it'll be like in its like second to week, and we all know that like box office. We all know like big blockbusters actually like, usually make most of their money in their first and second weeks. Well, the second week kind of like has a bigger drop off, and we'll get into that in a bit of a second here. But yeah, so I'm kind of curious to see like what they do. I'm kind of curious to see like how it's going to do, and plus it's going to be the first to do the 45-day window thing with like with that and Shang-Chi. And the thing about it, and it cannot be understated how important this movie is to Disney, because I think a lot of people like misunderstand like or don't actually get like Disney's true motivations. Because the thing is, Disney already knows that like Star Wars, Pixar, and fucking, Disney already knows Marvel and Star Wars stuff is going to do well. But what they're really honestly trying to put their more focus on is like their 20th Century Studios originals like Free Guy and the Last Duel, French Dispatch, and the Pixar stuff coming out next year called Turning Red and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
as well as like, and even like Jungle Cruise, like that is like a big risk for them as well, because it's going to be relying on star power, which, as you said before, is not really like a thing anymore. And I'm kind of curious about like, like how it's going to do. So do you got any thoughts on that before we move on to the next topic?
I want Jungle Cruise to succeed. It looks like it could be the new version of the Mummy. Like it has so much of that like DNA in it, and I just don't think it will. Like it's not, from what I've seen, it's not tracking well, and I don't think Disney will release the Disney Plus numbers either, like they did with Black Widow. It just feels
Yeah.
like they're trying to start something. Like they haven't had like Scott and I are talking about this. Like they didn't have like haven't had an original franchise launch since Pirates.
Yeah, and here's something else here, and here's the thing that people don't realize. They know that they actually in the mid 2010s, they actually started releasing these like great little like smaller films like USA McFarland and Queen of Conway, and like people say, oh, Disney doesn't make original films, and yet those films bombed. Those two
Mm-hmm.
films that were like original
Like
concepts,
probably
also,
money.
yeah, there was like three of them, and like and they tried to get them out the gate. They had really high top tier directors that come out there, and then they just kind of like fizzle at the box office. So you want to know the reason why Walt Disney Pictures is relying on its fucking remakes and sequels to their like animated films? Well, it's because you didn't check out some of their newer stuff, and it's like we reap what we sow a little bit.
Well, it's the Kent Brockman line from The Simpsons. Like at risk of sounding unpopular, the blame scores falls squarely on you, the viewer. Like
Yeah,
no one, you can't make people go out. Like In the Heights is a perfect example of a movie that should have been a huge hit. It
yeah,
felt like it's what everybody said they wanted, but nobody wanted it. Now I don't know how much of that is pandemic related, but even before that, you saw stuff like Widows got buried, First Man got buried,
yeah,
other stuff like that, and it's like, well, this sucks. Like nothing, this is why you have the system you have, because everyone's scared to do something huge and crazy unless you're like Nolan, and you
yeah.
can, but that doesn't happen anymore because most people aren't going to go out.
Well,
Like, well, I can wait to see this on Netflix. Like, I don't need to go see Gunpowder Milkshake in a theater. I can see it on Netflix or something
yeah.
like that.
Totally, and also it should be noted that there is a couple more like directors out there. Like I would say Ari Aster is in that category, Jordan Peele,
Not to that
and
scale.
okay, that's true. And also I would also say M Night as well. We were talking
Uh,
about him before.
well, him, like, he can because he's self-financing. Like,
All
I
right,
don't think he couldn't probably make, um, like another After Earth or something like that.
Yeah.
Like his big scale days are over unless like he's self financing himself. He doesn't have the
Yeah.
equity to do that anymore. Like even Glass was a super like it was very self financed and you
Yeah.
can see it. It
What
wasn't
wasn't
a
that produced
huge.
by Blumhouse though too
It
as
was,
well?
but it's a partnership.
Okay. Yeah.
Like he's still self financing stuff.
All right.
And,
That's
like old is that way too. Like it's a partnership.
yeah.
It's a partnership deal.
Totally. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense there. So yeah. So anyway, let's get on to the final topic before we get back into our main topic of box office here. So there was a lot of trailers this week, and
Mm-hmm.
like we had the last Duel trailer, which looks fucking awesome. Ridley Scott directing it. It's going to be Ben Affleck and Adam
I do not
Driver.
know about that one.
It's from 20th Century Studios. And it
No,
stars
I
Joey.
know about it. I just mean I don't know about that one.
The trailer, yeah, dude, it actually looks pretty damn good.
I
And
hope so, but oh boy.
yeah, but anyway, but the main trailer that came out this week was Denis Villeneuve's Dune, and man, does it look phenomenal! This to me, I think WB is trying to market this one as their Star Wars franchise, their big like science fantasy stuff there, and I think for a while, the way I think Warner Brothers kind of operates with their franchises, that I feel like DC is kind of positioned as their Pixar thing, and I feel like the MonsterVerse is more of their Marvel type thing, and I feel like this could be like their Star Wars, their answer to the sequel trilogy or something like that. So like, what are your thoughts on that? And the trailer looks phenomenal. I feel like the CGI at the end gets a little iffy there, but I'm just curious, like, what do you think it's gonna
Well,
do?
Dune's sort of the big elephant in the room with everything because that's gonna be a real feeling of how. I want it to be. It looks awesome. I want it to be good, but I think some people are really overestimating how much people are gonna care about Dune, and I don't. I'm not one of them. But I do think that like it's risky. I know people say, "Well, Lord of the Rings like broke out. That was a huge hit." But that's also a very different climate. A
Yeah,
very different climate.
very
And
different climate.
it's not that it's inaccessible, but like I don't know again how much people have it. Like the normal the people you are counting on to go see your movie are going to be counting on that going to
Yeah.
go see it. And look, it's super ambitious. It's the kind of movie you want. Like it's a huge cast, huge director. But we saw with like Blade Runner 2049 that that doesn't matter. Like it's a super. It was Blade Runner 2049 did not do very well,
Yeah,
and
totally.
I just don't see Dune having the huge Lord of the Rings style success that maybe, or even it, like, because that's more of akin to what it is, because it's splitting the book into two.
Yeah. And also
I
has an HBO Max series as well.
I know. Good for Warner Brothers for going all in on it, but like, I don't know if they'll receive a return on it, at least with what they want. I could
Yeah,
be wrong, but like, if it had come out last December, no pandemic, I think it would have. But
totally.
in this environment, I don't see it, especially because you have
Yeah.
so much stuff coming out this fall. Like, I'm sorry, like the movie, I'm gonna see Dune in IMAX, but the movie I'm seeing that weekend first and foremost is Jackass Forever. Sorry,
Oh wait, what? Oh yeah, that's right. That's coming out. That had a fucking
it's
trailer
the it's the
this
same.
fucking week.
Damn right, same day, and it's the same day. I'm like, I'm
Okay.
sorry, but like, it's not gonna shock me when Jackass opens to like 50 something million and Dune opens to like 30.
Okay,
Like,
yeah, and also one other thing. There's also like two other films like sandwiched in between that as well, and
hmm
it's like, and it's so
Halloween
fucking
Kills is the week before, and then
yeah.
the week after is Last Night in Soho, which isn't gonna eat away from Dune a whole lot, but like the
Oh no.
fall, from Shang Chi on, like the whole rest of 2021 is gonna be just a deluge of stuff because of everything. A lot of things that couldn't come out last year, like Bond is in there, Eternals. Just there's a West Side Story, and there's just a lot of stuff coming out the next like 4 months, and
Oh
like
god.
Dune's not gonna have like a Christmas weekend to grow. It's either
Yeah.
gonna hit in stride, or it's just gonna be like, well, that was an ambitious failure. Sorry, Denny.
And also it also can understand that it's going to be like streaming on HBO Max simultaneously while it's going to be in theaters. So that's going to take a bite out of it as well. Like financially, I'm pretty sure it's
Maybe
going to do well on HBO Max because again, because again, it's like it's a big IP thing, and if like people already have HBO Max and they see it on there, they're going to fucking watch it. But I just
maybe
worry,
like how much is
like
Dune's IP awareness though? Either
yeah, yeah,
Lord of the Rings at least had that. Like people have at least heard of Lord of the Rings. But this, I don't know. Like, I don't know how much people like are really like plugged into what Dune is because Dune hasn't had a real cultural footprint at all.
Yeah, totally. I love your like skepticism. It's like very like real and honest, there.
I know what I see. Like Black Widow's struggled after week two, and that had every advantage they could have asked for. But
Yeah, and
I
plus,
don't know.
honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like the Disney Plus thing really hit it really hard because again, $30 is a lot of money, and like it made 60 million on there,
Mhm.
so that's a good chunk of the audience just already, hey, why would I go to the theaters when
Well,
I already have it at home?
what I think the Plus stuff does though, it eats away at the repeat business rather than the opening
Totally.
weekend. Like opening weekend is fine. Like opening weekend is comparable to like your Ant Man and the Wasp, or your Spider Man Homecoming, or what have you. But it's the repeat business that you're losing because I can just buy it on Disney Plus if I want to. But it did make 60 million. It doesn't have to share that with the theater, so who cares?
Yeah, I well, at the theaters do, but it's like,
The theaters did. I mean, Disney. They're like, well, who cares? Dude? That's fine.
Here's the thing I find kind of funny though. So like like how like AMC was kind of all hissy pissy about like the Warner Brothers and HBO Max thing, but it's like, dude, you motherfuckers like made the deal with like Universal and kind
Hmm.
of stabbed everybody else in the back before then. So like you kind of like gave them like the green signal to say, oh, we can do this, no problem. So like at the end of the day, it's kind of on you, right? Like I'm
Well, the
sorry.
theaters have been poorly run for a while. Like, I mean, I don't know what they're supposed to do, but like, they can't. The model that as it stood was unsustainable,
Yeah,
especially once because that's what really Netflix and all those 808 stuff like that were not just like people go wanting to go to the theater, and then that took away like the mid market movies like your romantic comedies and even your studio comedies. Those are all streaming now because there's no
yeah,
reason for people to go to the theaters. But on top of that, like theaters just weren't doing a good job at like policing people's behavior in theaters, and it turned off people who actually like going to the theater because you know, they're people just
yeah.
don't
It's
behave
fucking
themselves anymore. They're on
expensive,
their
dude.
it's expensive. People are on their phones, and unless you're at a really cool theater like the ArcLight, which would shun that completely, they also weren't taking care of their sound very well, or the picture quality wasn't to up to snuff at AMC's or Regals. Again, RAP ArcLight. I dearly miss them, and I hope someone like buys them and makes them and brings them back. But like, it was
Yeah.
like the one theater chain that like seemed to give a shit, and even then, their tickets were expensive.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and getting back into that as well is like I kind of feel like as you were saying, like there is so much fucking content to consume. Like there is so much just like if you stand back and look at like how much
Hmm.
stuff is being pumped into original content, streaming movies, TV shows, theater movies. It's just like I know like us film buffs like don't realize like, oh, see as many movies as you can, but when you step back it's like, holy shit, like the
Are you supposed to?
average fucking person doesn't have time for that, nor doesn't care about that. And it's just like, and look, I know, and look, I wish they did because there's a lot of great stuff on streaming and in theaters that are not franchise IP stuff. And it's just, I really, I just I don't know. Like it's so like cutthroat out there because there's so much shit coming
Hmm.
out the pipeline, and it's not even just this year. This was the problem back in 2019 as well. There was so much content streaming service movies and shows that were
I mean, a
honestly
lot of them don't
competing.
exist anymore. Like a lot of them just feel like they don't exist. Like if it were like 2011 and like Harry Fukunaga had done like a 8 episode limited series on Netflix with Jonah Hill and Emma Stone,
Yeah,
we remember it. But no one remembers that it existed.
yeah,
Like it's just a
totally.
small blip on everybody on their IMDb's. And that's the hard part is, well, how do you get people engaged if everything just feels so accessible and just so disposable?
Yeah,
Dune, yeah, Dune could be the thing that's like, okay, well, I guess we have to go see this. This looks like this huge thing. Or we're like, okay, well, I don't really know what that is. I don't read the book. I don't care. I'll wait. I'll rent it. And
you
you
know
become
which one
Lord of
is
Lincoln.
actually going to probably break out of the mold, even if it's terrible, even if the movie's garbage. Is that
Hmm,
I think Matrix 4 is probably going to break out.
maybe, but then that has nostalgia going for it.
Yeah,
Dune
it's
doesn't. Like there aren't a whole lot of people who are like, no, you don't understand. The Lynch movie's a masterpiece.
oh
And like
yeah,
or the Sci-Fi Channel miniseries that was bad. Like there's just no real average moviegoer cultural footprint for it. The people that love
totally.
Dune love it, and you see those people online, but like the internet's not real life. But
The internet is not real life. All right, what I think that's like the main thing about this episode is that. just because oh, it's going to do great like on just because film crew think it's going to do great doesn't mean like it's actually going to like
Right.
promote the dollars there. And also, I also think it's also like I think it's also like just squaring it into like the worst time slots. Like that movie, that Olivia Wilde movie, Booksmart.
Yeah, I love Booksmart.
It's a great movie. You know who was dumb enough to put it like in like you know where that movie
Memorial Day
fumbled?
weekend. They put it out Memorial Day weekend, and they should have put it out like 2 weeks after South by when it had all the buzz, or in
Yeah,
August.
it definitely. They just waited too long. That is a early spring movie, and I feel like they just fumbled the ball. I mean, it would have gone up against
Well,
Captain Marvel, but
that's
like,
but even
yeah,
the, or fine, maybe you don't put it after Captain Marvel or Us, but maybe because I know everyone was like that's when Endgame was too. So like maybe you're save it for August. Like let the word of mouth build. Like start running ads for it after South by, and either put it out like June or somewhere like June or August, something like that where it's not in a crowded space.
yeah, because as everybody thought about how doom that summer was, I mean, like late July, oh yes, like a lot of original films actually like very much sprung up into success there. Like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood did pretty okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good Boys did pretty good. So
Mm-hmm.
like I think that, and also like Ready or Not, I think did pretty good as well. So like
Yeah.
so like there was like a great slew of like original films that were doing like pretty solid business in that time period. So I feel like Booksmart could have like actually like won the day in that element there. But
Yeah,
as
that's Annapurna though. They really fumbled a lot. Like they had like 2013 was peak Annapurna, and then they fumbled mightily in a lot of ways.
yeah,
Like
it's all about studio leadership, man. It's like
and Ellison didn't have it. Like that was the whole bag on her. Was that
yeah,
she worked with a lot of good people, but like the distribution was bad. Like well, Linklater's Where'd You Go Bernadette was poorly marketed and just like it crashed
yeah,
hard. Even
it
though
was
probably
bad.
well, yeah, that too. Like there was, but I mean, it could have had a chance to succeed on some level because I guess people really liked the book and Kate Blanchett's in it, and director of Boyhood, but they fumbled it, and that's what
Yeah,
you've been seeing a lot. No one knows how to market anything outside of like Disney and Warner Brothers.
yeah.
So Paramount was
It,
smart to sell Tomorrow War to Amazon because they got 200 million out of it, and
yeah.
who cares?
And plus, I think that movie is more. I know like people say, oh, it's a theater movie, but honestly, like looking at it, it felt very streamable. Like I don't think the VFX and the action scenes were like just
Hmm.
like, oh my god, I have to go see that in the theater. Like it's sort of like what I kind of felt about like the Snake Eye reviews. Like, dude, that would have been a great Paramount Plus original movie. Like just and Paramount Plus needs all the help it can get, man. It's just, man, that streaming
They have a good
service.
library. Like they have a from the TV side of things, they have a really good library because they have all the old
Yeah,
mixed stuff. They have most of the old MTV stuff. Well, some of the old
yeah,
MTV stuff, and they can build on that. But like the movie library sucks because I think a lot of their stuff is rented out. Like that's the
yeah, totally.
thing. A lot of these people miss the boat on is like having as much of your own content like available only to your service as possible. Like Disney Plus is the best at that.
Yeah,
Like they've integrated like little stuff here and there, like the X Men movies, but like mostly they had everything in house.
yeah. I will say that Disney Plus is kind of stunted in its growth there as well. So that's kind of, I mean, a little bit. I mean, it's still growing, but it's not growing as much as it was early 2020. But I'm going back to Disney Plus. I'm kind of curious about what they're gonna like expand there because like once they got the Fox library, are they gonna like and they're gonna do an Alien show on FX with which by the way, like FX is such a great channel, and I hope I and what from what Disney's been doing with it, I think they've been doing a pretty okay job. I think Disney's Hulu thing has been pretty good. I mean, it's a
Yeah, they've
monopoly,
left
and
them alone, and they've left Landgraf alone at FX, and they've also left like whomever takes over Searchlight because the two main people are retired. They're gonna leave them
yeah,
alone.
yeah, just again, like thing about Disney that people don't understand is that Disney's not as like into like their stuff as people think they are. Like again, like they just kind of like let them like operate in their way like more than people think, and it's kind of like because like again like whatever Kevin Feige says, like the guy Alan Horde and like Bob Iger are gonna leave him alone. Now that's probably gonna change due to like Bob Chapek being kind of such.
Mm, I think they
A,
leave Marvel alone too, because they've got Marvel because like Disney Plus is gonna pick up once like all the other shows start coming on,
yeah,
and like they have so much in the pipeline that I think they'll be okay.
yeah,
Like, and they don't have to really counter
yeah,
Netflix's arsenal of original stuff because like the
because
big
they have Hulu for that.
well
They have
I'm a parent and I can tell you this right now. Like most of the original stuff, like my 5-year-old doesn't care about is all the stuff that they've already seen, like all the Princess movies and all the Pixar. Like if there's new stuff like Monsters at Work, that's great.
Yeah,
And for me, like I love Mighty Ducks Game Changers, great.
yeah,
But like they don't need to have like a cajillion like original stuff going at once. They can just kind of
yeah.
curate what they want.
Yeah, totally. And that's the big problem with Netflix is that they are absolutely like atrocious at marketing their stuff there. Like,
They don't
dude,
care.
they just don't give a shit. It's just like it's kind of like it's kind of, okay. So like it's and I feel like the best streaming service right now is honestly Apple TV Plus because they give like their creators like a good amount of like specialty, and also they promote their stuff like crazy. Like Ted Lasso got a lot of push,
Mm-hmm.
The Morning Show got a lot of push, and like they're all great shows. Like you
Mythic Quest.
know, yeah, Mythic Quest, phenomenal show too. And actually, there's actually this Russo brothers movie called Cherry. They promoted the hell out of
Mm,
that, and they
you know
actually,
they did.
they did.
No, they
I
did.
know, yeah. But actually, I will say this. Actually, I actually really adore Cherry.
Wow.
To me at least, I liked
Mhm.
it. I know. I
Too
have
long.
bad taste,
No, no,
but
no,
to
it's
me,
okay. It was just too long. Like I get it. They were trying something, but like, yeah, like
yeah,
they
yeah,
need guardrails.
yeah, they do. I think their Gray Man movie is probably gonna like break out. It's gonna be more in their vein of like Extraction, which was a
Mhm.
breakout hit. That's still like, it's kind of crazy to me that that's like even like after Marvel, like the Russo brothers had like a big success with Extraction, and now they're gonna get $200 million with Gray Man, and it's kind of funny to me that like two of like Warner Brothers and Disney's like top directors, Russo brothers and Zack Snyder, are like going to be like working at Netflix, and they're not capitalizing on that like, as much. I think they're probably
Mm.
capitalizing that a lot with like Zack Snyder, but I wish they could like maybe push a little bit more. And I'm kind of curious about how like that Red Notice movie is going to do in November because we haven't seen any promotion on it at all, and it's crazy because
Which
that's
one's that?
probably Red Notice, the one with like Ryan Reynolds, Dwayne
Oh
Johnson,
yeah, 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 yeah.
Gal Gadot. Like where the fuck is
Here,
like a promotion for that? Like they
so
need to like get that
here's
thing.
Netflix's strategy, and here's the thing that they know that most people assume that Netflix just wants to be a studio. Netflix wants to be the place you aimlessly channel surf at like 8 o'clock at night and be like, oh, I guess I'll watch like that weird animal dating show. I don't know, like they know that like people are just numbed out on the couch after a long day and they're just gonna cruise for whatever. That's why like the floor is
This
lava was a hit. Like if they have cool like prestigious stuff like Roma or action stuff like Red Notice, cool, that's awesome. Like they can eat up some innings there, but like mostly like the big stuff on Netflix is like all the garbage stuff like Emily in Paris because like people just want to like tune out and like watch whatever.
Yeah, so they're trying to
That's
be
the place
both
you have to touch.
YouTube and Discovery at the same time, right? They're just gonna try to be like,
Yeah,
whoosh.
like that's
Yeah,
why Discovery Plus getting HBO Max is going to be really huge because they
yeah,
have bringing all the Discovery Channel library, which is like your Food Networks, your HGTVs, and coming from my own personal experience, that's the kind of stuff like if you can't find it settle on anything to watch, you're like, fuck it, I'll watch Flip or Flop or I'll watch Love It or List It. Okay, like whatever. I can't figure out a movie. I have decision paralysis, and I'll just put on Chopped. Like I can just burn through Chopped until I figure
yeah,
it. That's
yeah,
the case. Like that's what it's going to help buoy HBO Max, who
yeah,
already have a
totally.
great library of like their own stuff plus their classic film library rules. But and most streaming services don't have that. Netflix in particular has a really choppy classic movie library because they don't care, but HBO Max does. And then if they
Yeah,
can put like the stuff casual people are just gonna be like gonna not numb out on the couch too. That's what's gonna
yeah,
save it. That's
yeah,
how you become a
totally.
new cable company. Like that's what
Yeah,
they're all going towards.
yeah,
Like the days where Amazon was like self-funding or putting stuff in theaters and like putting like having really interesting directors like having Jarmusch movies or The Big Sick or stuff like that are over. There's like we
yeah.
just want people to be on here and to eat innings. Like
And
Disney Plus
that
is
was
a
like 2017 guys. So not that long ago. So it's kind of
no,
crazy.
and yeah, because they're like, okay, well, I guess theatrical isn't really where to go. If we hit theatrically, hooray! But like, that's all a legacy business. That's what I was talking to Drew McWeeny about too. He's like he heard someone refer to theatrical as a legacy business, which
Yeah,
is
totally.
depressing, very depressing. But like, that's kind of the future of it. Is all these places are trying to figure out, well, we can put stuff in theaters, yay, but really, we just
We
want people
don't care.
to. We do not care because if we can just get you to engage, we can boost our stock price. And for Netflix, it's a huge deal because they technically haven't turned a profit at any point.
Yeah, totally.
They,
Anyway, getting back to
yeah.
like the streaming stuff there. So, like, actually, like, what are some of your favorite shows you're excited for coming in the fall as well? I know it's like a very like loaded
So
question.
no, like I mean, August has some like good stuff. Like Reservation Dogs on FX is going to be amazing.
Oh my God, yes.
The show Taika's producing looks great. And then you also have when Marvel's What If launches.
Yeah,
For me, MTV has the challenge coming back. That's like my thing.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then in the fall, you got the Hawkeye show, Miss
yeah,
Marvel coming
yeah,
out.
yeah. Totally. Totally.
I,
I
and
gotta say that the Marvel shows have actually been a lot better than I expected. They do have their pacing problems, but I think
sure, they're learning.
I, but I do think they've really like, I think the Marvel shows have kind of addressed a lot of the criticisms of like the movies have had over the year. Like some of them can feel kind of samey at times, but I feel like the shows have sort of like had more distinct voices from their creators. And I know they don't use showrunners; it's kind of a match between the director and
Mm,
the movie there. But I think it's kind of a nice little perfect match there. So which is why I think, because I feel like as much as the people give it shit there, I actually really adored Falcon and Winter Soldier. That one's probably my
really,
favorite one
really.
out of the top ones. You want to know why? Because I think it very much fixes a lot of the Russo brothers' issues with their Captain America films. I think the way those were shot were not very good, and I feel like Carly Scoglin does a great job of like taking that style and revamping into her own look there, where it's actually a lot more better and the stuff there. And also, I feel like as much as I do love the Captain America movies, I think the Russo brothers are awesome. They're probably top tier MCU guys. I feel like their Captain America movies kind of it's sort of like I had a problem with like the first scene of The Boys. I feel like the show is great, but I feel like their targets are very 2001, and which is why I like season two better, is because it's more into the present day politics there, and that's why I really liked Falcon and Winter Soldier, because it does a great job of like of mixing the Russo Brothers style of like today's politics in a way, and I really love the banter between Bucky and Sam. I think it works very good there, and not to say I didn't love Loki or WandaVision. I think both of them are pretty solid, but I feel like that one to me was like, bam, this is going to be a hit. This is the one that I really think, and it makes me excited for the Hawkeye show. But yeah, that's just my hot take for me. But
Okay.
yeah,
I mean, I like Falcon Winter Soldier just fine, but like its problems were it was very evident that like they tried to cram too much at once, and the
yeah,
finale is kind of a mess. But like it felt like it could have just been a movie, like a Disney Plus original movie rather than a show.
yeah, totally. I
And
think Black
Loki,
Widow should have been to the movies. I think that should have been just been on streaming. I think that would have been better for it, and this should
yeah,
have gone for more original
I
property.
mean, I get why they did that because
Yeah,
they owed it to her. There should have been already three Black Widow movies, but that's okay.
yeah,
Like I get it. And with then Loki is the first show that actually felt like a show to me. WandaVision felt like
yeah.
a good limited series. Falcon Winter Soldier felt like it was a TV movie. They just stretched it out, and then Loki's the one where it actually felt like a TV show.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I could totally agree with that there. But there's actually a couple of other shows I was actually kind of interested. I'm actually very interested in here. So there's two, and then
Mhm.
they're both on Hulu. There, it's gonna be Why the Last Man from FX. I'm very excited about that
Oh
one.
yeah, they've been trying to do that one forever.
Yeah, and they got a great showrunner behind it. It's gonna be cool. And also this one is gonna be pretty surprising here. Only Murders in the Building, starring Steve Martin.
Oh
His
yeah.
his lackey is Selena Gomez, she's kind of like adorable to watch, and
Hmm.
like these like crime thriller stuff there. So that's a show I'm looking forward to as well. And there's like a couple of other ones. I'm also watching Ted Lasso season two. I'm excited for that. The
I'm
morning
starting to
show.
tonight.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there. Like I think there's like maybe like another HBO Max show that I'm like forgetting. There's like another show that
Well,
from them that.
Succession comes back in the fall.
Oh yeah, that's right. That one too as well. So like, there's gonna be a lot of stuff, and also fucking fuck it's Peacemaker. But I feel like that's gonna be
That's
like
January, I think.
January. Yeah.
And
So
then you have Book of
there's
Boba Fett on Disney Plus. I think towards the end of the year.
Jesus Christ. There is just a lot of
There,
shit coming out. It's
I
just fuck man. Like man, I just feel bad for like Paramount Plus. Just they're gonna be like in a typhoon until like that Halo show finally comes out in 2032.
if it comes out.
Yeah. I
You know what though? I honestly think someone's gonna like because that's the sort of like the sleeping giant in all of this is like when let's say Apple wants to just buy like straight up buy Viacom, so they have the Paramount library, and then just add it to Apple TV. Like you're gonna see a lot of consolidation. Like there's a rumor that like see like Viacom and Comcast are gonna merge, and then that way Peacock and Paramount Plus's libraries can become one. Because Peacock
Oof.
Loki has a good library.
I wonder what the hell is gonna happen to Sony though, because like what? Because like if
Oh,
Sony like goes on like because like aren't they like teaming up with Disney? So like
no, what they're doing is like so they made a deal with Netflix, like, hey, when like your Venom 2, Let There Be Carnages come out or what have you, you get first crack at streaming. However,
yeah.
after X amount of days, it's gonna go right to Disney Plus if it's a Marvel property.
Mhm.
And Sony's doing something really smart because rather than like pour a whole bunch of money into a streaming service
Yeah.
that's gonna like have its own struggles just building traffic and figuring out what it wants, and like they don't have a lot of
Big war.
they don't have a lot of IP to really build off of
Yeah.
either.
And
Like
and
it's
you,
just Spider-Man and Black. But what they're doing is they're just sort of serving as a way station. Like, cool, we can make money of like just selling out the streaming rights for whatever to Netflix and then to later to whomever. Like, we don't need a home. We can just make their theatrical stuff and just have of a double or a triple, maybe a home run once in a while, and then just collect the money on streaming. We don't need to get bogged down in creating a service. Like, that's just our
totally.
we're a way station. We're a content
Yeah.
way station.
Okay, yeah, totally, and that's kind of the thing that like Tom Rothman's been doing, who loves superhero movies. He just absolutely loves them. Just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna get back to that later,
Mm-hmm.
but because like again, I think like what Tom Rothman's doing with Sony is that he's trying to like build it back up as like the new Warner Brothers or the new Paramount, where they had their
Mm-hmm.
franchise stuff, but their main focus was on like original feature films, like Once Upon a
And
Time in
filmmaker.
Hollywood, baby, like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Baby Driver, their new film coming out next year, 2022, Bullet Train. Like that's Tom Rothman's main fucking focus. He,
Ultraman.
yeah, totally. That's the
Which
one of
one's
like
that?
that one's David Leachman. It's being directed with
Oh
it's going to be with Brad Pitt. And it's going to have a stacked cast there.
yeah.
I feel like Tom Rothman, like as a producer, he's like what I've heard is like, dude, like one of the main reasons why that Spider-Man thing is still continuing is because he does not want to like deal with the Spider-Man thing. He would be much happier just to let Kevin Feige do his thing and just kind of like let it be there. And like the only person that's like sort of like trying to get in the way of that is honestly Amy Pascal, which hey, it's business is business. But she's already like has like her like shop set up like at Universal and other places there. So like even she's sort of like that there. I'm kind of curious what the hell is going to happen with that Spider-Man deal thing. Like it could go either way because again, I don't know what's gonna happen because there is just I don't know because like I feel like if they like lose a deal, I feel like Tom Holland will just like jump out of it because that'll be the last country's like you know what I'm done and that will just kind of fall apart there. But I don't
Yeah.
know, it's kind of crazy.
Well, I mean, I get why they're doing that, but what I think Sony's really gonna end up doing is they're gonna become because I think Nolan is probably done with Warner Brothers at this point because he was just very disgusted over how the whole Tenet thing went down.
Yeah,
And I honestly, and they already have Tarantino, and they can get probably other filmmakers too. But I think they'll become what Warner Brothers was until like last year, where they were the filmmaker destination. Like, set up your shingle here, please. Just make whatever you want here, and
yeah,
we'll buttress it with like a Spider-Man or something like that.
yeah.
But that'll be the place you can go to do stuff for
Yeah,
us. And then,
Because Tom Rothman, just like the new David Zaslav guy running Discovery, is an old Hollywood studio guy, and
mhm,
he doesn't want his studio to be just franchises.
that's how you die.
Yeah, yeah, and you know what, I kind of respect that because man, like the way and again, I'm sorry to rag on Amy Pascal, but the way she was running Sony was really really destructive. Like I don't know,
I
I
don't think
mean,
it was all her fault because like some stuff she was absolutely right on.
yeah,
Like
totally, okay, yeah,
from what I've seen from the emails, a lot of her notes were like, "Yeah, yep, that's exactly right." And
yeah,
she did support like a lot of like she helped make the Social Network happen. She helped
oh
make
yeah,
a
totally,
like she's a
okay,
really good executive, but like a lot of people just don't know how to change change where the tide is going, and
yeah.
like she was trying to do something, and then stuff
Yeah.
just doesn't work.
Yeah. So again, yeah. As for the Sony, yeah, totally. Actually, I take that back. I think Amy Pascal is kind of respectable. I feel like I don't know. I feel I just feel like some
It's
of her
hard to
Spider.
really know too what like
Yeah.
really goes on because like a
Yeah.
lot of people bitch about Kathleen Kennedy, and I'm like, do you
Yeah.
understand how like good a producer she is? It's
Like
just
nobody actually knows. Like a lot of the people that talk about film online don't actually know how the film industry
they
works.
don't
Like
know
I'm
that they're up
sorry.
to. Like Google, like Google her or look at her IMDb, look at everything
Yeah.
she produced, and guess what? She made your childhood. Like
Yeah.
you can say, "Oh, she rode Spielberg's coattails," but that's not true. They'll even be the first to tell you, "Oh no, without Kathleen Kennedy, like this doesn't work. ET doesn't work, or
Yeah.
this doesn't work." Like she knew what she's doing,
Yeah.
and
Totally.
then like it's hard to also figure out like how much power like an executive has as opposed to like your shareholders. Like that's what you're learning with like Warner Brothers especially. Like
Hmm.
AT&T thought we can just come in and do a studio because we did a telecommunications company,
Yeah.
and that's just not true. They didn't understand what they were doing, and that's the history is littered that way. Coca-Cola once owned Columbia,
Oh
and
no, yeah, that was pretty funny.
like
Coca Cola, 80s, 80s,
yeah,
Reagan capitalism.
they were Ishtar, man. Like that's what happened. They were why Ishtar like was the way it was.
Oh yeah,
Like
totally.
they didn't they just thought they knew what they were doing, and it turns out they didn't. And they're like, okay, well, movies are hard. Let's just sell to
Just sell it there. Yeah. But I do think Warner Brothers will be in a better position when they're like owned by like Discovery, because David Zaslav, again, as I said
I
before,
hope.
is a Hollywood, is an old school Hollywood person. But yeah, I think that would be good. But you know what studio is actually like actually sneakily created like a little empire that can like
Hmm.
match Disney and Netflix. You want to know what it is?
Hmm.
Universal.
Oh, they're
Universal.
good.
Dude, Universal. Again, people like misconstrue. It's like, oh, it's Disney versus Warner versus Disney versus Marvel. No, 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 no. It's Universal versus Disney. Like that is their main competitor. Their main competitor for Disney. It's not Warner Brothers. I'm sorry. Warner Brothers is a great studio, but that's not like Disney's like main target. Their main target is like Universal, because again, they are shockingly similar to each other. They have like they have like their two biggest franchises. They have like two successful animation studios. Well, at least one mega successful animation studio. I don't know about DreamWorks' like viability.
They're
Like,
kind of like a name only kind of company at this point. It feels like they because DreamWorks Animation like is just it's still something, but like they're not really pumping stuff out. They're not Illumination.
yeah, but yeah, but they're surprisingly successful. And dude, like when Fast Nine was like dropped there, like Universal didn't have anything to worry about, because again, they had like fucking Purge, the final Purge Forever, and also Boss Baby, like cleaning up the box office there, like no problem. And even their like streaming service there is actually like making them a tidy little like income there. I mean, they lost like a bunch of money in their first year, but
And
it's
and they
yeah,
also have Blumhouse too. Like
yeah,
they can
Blumhouse,
like Blumhouse hits like like doubles and triples every year, and it's fine.
yeah,
And they have a good relationship with M Night because M Night, like I said, still finances on movies with Universal. At least I think I don't know if he has a first look, but at least they have a good relationship.
yeah,
And they have relationships with other filmmakers too. And like don't need like they have Peacock, but like they don't really need to worry about that. Like Peacock will do whatever that does, and they also they've done a good job of just being a studio. I
hmm
mean, although the question is going to be what happens when Fast is gone and when Jurassic's gone, what they do then, and then how much viability do the Minions have going forward? Because they still have still have the Rise of Gru, and they still, but I don't know, and they have Sing 2, I guess, because Sing 1 was a huge hit, Sing 2 might be as well, but we don't know.
yeah. We'll see about that.
We've
But
got a lot of stuff.
I actually do think the thing that's going to answer that is honestly their their like horror division there. Like I feel
Mm.
like the Invisible Man probably will spin off like a couple of like other stuff there. Like Ryan Gosling is doing the werewolf. I think that would do
Well, they
pretty
have
good.
Chloe Zhao, I think, has a vampire movie she's
Yeah,
for her Dracula, her sci-fi
yeah.
Dracula movie she's doing there too, I believe.
So they have the monster stuff as well. So I think they'll like maybe be good, but I don't think Jurassic World's gonna end after three. I that's what.
It will probably for a while. It will. Like I don't know
Okay,
what Dominion is gonna look like, but they've been saying that like this is it.
okay, all right. Well, we'll see about that. But I don't know, because again, I actually do really like Jurassic World, the first one. I feel like the second one is
Mm.
fine, but I'm just gonna know.
The first one has a lot of good ideas, just the execution is very poor.
It was like your just your it was a fun summer blockbuster. But hey, we can agree to disagree on that. But yeah. Getting back to Sony there, so like we want to have we're gonna do this for a little while. So like, how do you think Ghostbusters, like Afterlife and Venom 2 are gonna do? Because I know Venom's gonna do like
Venom's gonna be fine. Venom's gonna be both fun and do very very well. Like I'm
yeah,
hyped for that one.
yeah,
But as far I don't know how what's the second one? You said?
Ghostbusters Afterlife,
Oh
like
god.
that's like sandwiched between
Oh
like
boy.
The
I
eternal.
It smells like a bomb. Like I just think there's just no goodwill towards it anymore. Even the people that like Ghostbusters now, like, couldn't give a shit about Ghostbusters because of how
Yeah.
bad 2016 went for Ghostbusters.
Yeah, and also I feel like that would have like worked like as a like a July movie. I feel like that would have worked way better
I
like
don't
during the
know.
summer for
I
me at
just
least.
don't know how much, again, how much nostalgia there really is for it because like Ghostbusters really isn't a franchise. They want it to be. Like Aykroyd sure as shit wanted it to be one, but it isn't. It was one really solid movie. The sequel nobody liked. It had an animated series that really carried its cultural weight for a long time, like until like kids could see the movie.
Yeah.
And I just don't. It's not like you're gonna have like a whole Ghostbusters expanded universe. I mean, even if
Yeah.
they just let the 16 movie, if there hadn't been like any issues with it, it just came out, and it did okay. Financially, did well actually. Like
Yeah.
it did very well, but like the goodwill was zapped because like the people that love Ghostbusters like wanted it to die a horrible death because it wasn't their Ghostbusters,
Mhm.
and then the people that just aren't into Ghostbusters like, well, fuck this. Like if this is how it's gonna be, like I don't want a part of it. And for Jason Reitman, I don't know where this leaves him because I think he needs this movie more than Sony does.
Yeah, he really does need it. And he's like a phenomenal director there. Like I did
Yeah,
like his I he well he did like didn't he do like this Charlie Sharon Theron movie mother about this her being a
Tully,
mother.
Tully was good.
Toy
He
was great, and also like Juno was good, and
Dune
I
was
actually didn't really
incredible. I
I
love
didn't
it.
really mind the front runner either. So
Farmer's okay. I think the problem though, like he wants it to be like the old system. Like he would have thrived in the old system. He always
yeah,
wanted to be like a Hal Ashby dude. But and then I love the show he had. Casual was good too. I really
yeah.
liked Casual.
Actually,
But
I'm gonna take a look at like some of other Jason Reitman stuff here because I get
because
because
he
I
Labor Day was a bomb. Men,
yeah
Women, and Children was a bomb. Fuck, there's one other one I'm forgetting in
up
between.
in the air a
Urban
young
Years
adult
is good. Young Adult was good. Like his first four movies at the gate were incredible,
yeah
and then like Labor Day was a huge swing and a miss. That happens.
yeah yeah
Men, Women, and Children was another swing and a miss.
yeah
And then
oh
he goes to TV to do Casual, and then the front runner does not exist. And
yeah
then Tully was good. It should have been released in the fall. Like I
yeah
think
that
we could have gotten a Charlize Oscar campaign out of that, and a Mackenzie Davis one as well.
yeah that was weird like how like again that was just that was like a dumb way they like kind of like promoted it there but yeah
Well,
dude
they bet on the
I
wrong horse.
yeah
Because like the front runner could have just been out and like if they'd swapped release dates, I wonder what would have happened.
hmm
Because they're the
yeah
same year. Like they bet on the front runner being their big October awards play, but it just didn't happen. Like for whatever reason, it didn't pop with anybody. Maybe because the title was I don't know if it was the title was bad or people just really don't remember the Gary Hart story or they just did a
yeah
bad job marketing. I don't know, but I think Tully would have been better served for that play. But I think Tully made money though, so like they can't complain too hard. But yeah, for him, I think this is his last gasp. Like, okay, if this is a hit, then I can have the equity to do other things that I really want
yeah
to do.
definitely
Because
yeah
he didn't want to make a Sisters movie. He really didn't want to do it.
yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, I don't think he wanted to. He didn't really think about it, but then like I think like then he like got an idea and he said like, oh look at this, I got that there, and you
Mm,
know how much bullshit. But he's probably bullshitting us, but
he is
I
because he always used to say like, "Oh, my Ghostbusters movie would just be boring. It'd just be like people talking about ghosts."
yeah,
That's who he is. But I think at a certain point, like they're like, "Hey, man, like if if this is a hit, if Ghostbusters Afterlife is a hit, like you can make all the front runners and Labor Days you want
yeah.
to, or
I
whatever."
yeah. Yeah, I do hope it's good though because again, like the trailer was actually pretty good. I just hope I just man I again I think that would have been like a great like late July movie to be honest with you.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like a early. It was supposed to be like a July. Its early release date was like July 10th. I think it
Mm.
would have like done pretty solid in that little like time slot there. Like
I,
if it was like marketed properly and the trailer was pretty good to
like
it. But
Snake Eyes, I just don't know who it's for anymore.
yeah, like Snake Eyes, dude. It doesn't help that that movie wasn't very good either.
It bombed. Like it's already like I already saw the tracking on it. It tanked.
Yeah,
400
it's
building.
yeah, man, dude. It's crazy like how that one did there and. I don't know. Like I'm just kind of curious about like where those like
Like, can I
80s
ask you a
nostalgia stuff.
question? How old are you?
I'm like 2021.
Fuck me. All right. Wow. Okay. Okay. Actually, the perfect person to ask. How much culture? I'm 32. How much cultural equity does GI Joe have with you? or Ghostbusters for that matter.
Ghostbusters a little bit more than
Hmm.
like GI Joe, but I don't know. I feel like GI Joe like hasn't had like anything.
No, because there's no like Transformers got lucky,
Yeah,
but
it got lucky because it had Michael Bay behind it. Like people don't
yeah,
really realize how much like Michael Bay was integral to like the
and
success of those
it
movies.
was still and it was still in the pocket where like the people that grew up on Transformers like cared. But
Hmm.
like now you've gone to a point where like you know where like He-Man and stuff like that, like they don't have any. There's no equity there.
Totally,
Like,
I agree with you on that.
because
Totally.
that it's one of those like it's just past. Like I think if Ghostbusters had just been a TV show instead of like a huge Paul Feig movie,
Yeah,
or if they had like a new animated series, like that's how you can get your foothold in. Because
yeah,
I'm a parent, so like I know what stuff works and what doesn't. Like even though it's very different than the movie, like my daughter really liked the Rocketeer TV show. So like
yeah.
that was a way to keep your IP going without having to like rely on, hey, remember this thing you really loved in like '87 or '91?
You
It's back.
remember? You
Huh?
remember? You remember?
Yep, it's
Member
remember.
berries. Good
Yep,
memory berries.
that's
Yeah,
right. That's right.
yeah,
And I think that the mistake a lot of these people are making is like the people that are super into GI Joe aren't old are old at the age where they're not going to the theater a lot anymore, and
yeah,
they're these super huge movie people.
yeah.
And
Totally.
like the Snake Eyes, who fucking cares? Like they
Yeah,
had the two GI Joe movies at the beginning of the 2010s, and they were okay, but they didn't like
yeah.
revive GI Joe, or nor did they do anything with the property. They didn't like lead to a whole new. Here's the new GI Joe cartoon or whatever.
All right. All right, fair enough. So yeah, anyway, I think we're gonna get into 2022 here because this one's gonna be crazy. I think this year, I think next, I feel like this year is gonna be fine. I think the ones that are gonna do well in 2020, late 2021 are gonna be, I think are gonna be uh, Halloween Kills, Shang
Mm-hmm.
Chi, Spider Man, No Way Home. That one's gonna do pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know.
I'm gonna be a shit.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe a Ghostbusters could maybe like pull something, but I after
Well,
what you're saying,
come on.
I'm not gonna hold my breath. It's like, oh my
Like,
god, it's gonna be great
well,
there, but
when is it? It's what middle November though, right? It's
it's
like
middle of November. It's like a weird slot to put it.
it's a bad spot because like you have Eternals who will already have been out for 2 weeks, and you also have like
I don't think
um
Eternals is gonna do that great.
I
I
think it
think
will because I honestly believe like it'll be fine. Like they'll have one other trailer that shows like what the movie is,
yeah.
and like oh here we go, and then I think
I
it'll
think
be
that will be the best of the three, though. Like coming out at the end of the year, because I mean, I love the first two Spider-Man movies from the MCU, but I feel like No Way Home is going to suffer for its weight there. But I do think it's going to do way better than the Eternals financially, though.
I think Worldwide Eternals will be like low key a mega hit because like
Yeah,
Jolie is really big all around the world, and they have a lot
yeah,
of I just feel like it's going to be one of those where like it does okay domestically, but then you look at like
yeah.
internationally, like holy shit.
What about the
Like
China thing though, too, as well? Because like China like blocked out like Shang Chi and Eternals.
I don't think that'll be a problem. Like because like Jolie, I know is for whatever not for whatever reason, but like she still has a lot of international cachet. I think
Yeah,
even beyond China, like fine, like you don't need them. You might not need them anymore.
totally. Okay, that makes
But
sense.
I think it'll still do well. Like it won't be a bomb. Like some people are like, oh, it's gonna bomb. Like, like who knows what this is? Like, I honestly trust Marvel to the extent that they know what they're doing.
Okay, that's fair enough there. So yeah, and those will be fine. But yeah, let's get into like 2022 here and kind of get to the latter part of this podcast here. So we okay, so I think 2022 is going to be like when the box office really gets back up and running again because look
Hopefully,
at the lineup here. We got Jurassic World Dominion, bam, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness starring Sam Raimi, going to be a hit.
mm-hmm.
For Love and Thunder, gonna be a hit. Wakanda
Mm-hmm.
Forever, Black Panther, the two, gonna be a hit here. Fucking Indiana Jones 5. I don't know what that one's gonna be. Matt Reeves, the Batman. Boom. John Wick 4. Damn. Minions, Rise of Gru. Okay, that one's gonna be a big one here. Mission Impossible 7. Why, this to me is
Mm-hmm.
becoming like the new 2015. Because remember, like in 2015, like
Mm-hmm.
when people were saying, "Oh, it's gonna be the worst one there," and it turned out to be the best one here. And I haven't even mentioned like Aquaman 2, The Flash, Avatar 2. like, and Halloween
Honestly,
ends. It's so many fucking ones, and I don't think Fantastic Beasts is going to do that great. And I'm not
yeah,
even sure that's going to come out in theaters. I've heard some rumors that it's going to go to HBO Max.
it should. Well, no, and you have Shazam too sandwiched in there somewhere as well.
Actually, that's going to be 2023. Then
Really?
there's going to be
Oh,
Sonic 2. Actually, let me see here. Is that 2023?
I
Let
swear
me
to God,
see.
I thought Shazam was like July of next year.
Nope, it's actually that's going to be Black Adam.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's gonna okay. Shazam: Fear of the Gods, June 2nd, 2023. So that's gonna be
Oh,
next year. But damn, dude, I think this next year is gonna be DC's like rise to fame here because as much as I do really think James Gunn Suicide Squad's going to do good, I do kind of wonder, I kind of question how well it's going to do because like there's a bad taste in people's mouth when people think about the
mm-hmm.
Suicide Squad, and plus that HBO Max thing will kind of like hold it back a little bit more. But dude,
I think it will.
DC's going all out next year with like Flash, Black Adam, Aquaman 2, and fucking Matt Reeves the Batman. Like, but
Well,
I
also the TV show too.
yeah,
That
the
TV.
Peacemaker.
No, 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 Gotham PD though.
Oh yeah, it actually comes out. I think it's going to come out like next the year after that, 2023. I think it will.
Really?
I think
Oh, I was about to say
because
it's
like
like.
they haven't like shot it yet though. Because like Peacemaker is shot, it's all ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Yeah,
that's mad. But
and
still,
on all and here's the thing else here, and then that's not even franchise stuff. Like look in Jordan Peele's like new film Nope. That will be huge, and also like Damien Chazelle will have like a Hollywood type of thing coming out that year as
hold
well,
on.
and Ari Aster as well. He'll have a movie out there by that then as well. So there's going to be a good mix of like big name directors coming in
Oh,
there,
and you
and
also have Spielberg's The Fablemans. I've been
yeah,
like,
yeah. Is that coming out that year as well? Let
they're
me
already
see
shooting it.
here.
They're already shooting it, and based on like the premise, it's not going to be a very long shoot, especially for him.
Okay, I want to see that there because like I'm kind of curious about that. So the
There's no
Fableman.
release date, but I'm guaranteeing you, like that's going to be like the November December movie for him.
Oh god
He's got West
damn
Side
it!
Story this Christmas, and then he's got Fablemans next year.
All right, I'm actually looking at this right now. Fablemans because damn
I
that.
think it's the working title is.
Yeah, it doesn't have a title yet though, so I don't
I've
know.
seen that. I don't know, I've seen it bandied around, but like, yeah, it's his like family. It's his like autobiography,
Oh
semi-autobiographical
dude,
story. Where
damn,
Rogan
that's gonna.
plays with Paul Dano, Michelle Williams, then Rogan plays his uncle. I think there's like someone else in it too. And then he found a kid. He's really good at finding kids. And it's a low key, more of a low key movie.
Yeah,
He's writing it.
damn.
He's actually writing it. It's the first his first writing credit, I believe, since AI.
Yeah,
And he's sharing the credit with Tony Kushner, which I'm like, okay, cool, sign me up, please.
yeah. And here's something else here. Martin Scorsese's new
Yes,
film coming
the
out there as well.
George
I just
Department,
yeah that one's gonna be with
Leo, Jesse Plemons, De Niro,
yeah
and other people.
okay yeah so that's gonna be kind of
Oh, there's one movie from this year that we're not talking about yet, but it's also going to eat away at whatever Ghostbusters wants to do is
yeah.
Encanto.
Oh Kento, what is that?
That's the Disney animated movie about the
Oh
big magical family, and then there's
oh yeah, that one there. So that
that
will be
that's your
probably
that's your Thanksgiving, like your Frozen Moana slot.
yeah. So yeah, that's pretty crazy there. But
Okay,
going
you haven't
going back
seen it
to
all. Oof,
yeah.
sorry.
No, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Sorry here. I don't want to like interrupt you or anything like that
You're
because
fine. You're fine. No,
that's
no,
too
you're
bad there.
cool. It's like I just occurred to me, like, oh fuck, Encanto is also in November. Oof, it's a
Yeah.
lot.
But damn, dude, like 2022 is to me shaping up to be the new 2015 where there's just going to be a lot of like big box office hits there. Sonic 2,
Mm-hmm.
Scream, that's actually coming out this next year. And dude, the big one that I am so fucking curious about is
Mm-hmm.
Avatar 2. What is that going to look like and like how well is it going to do? Cuz James Cameron has bet his entire career on this fucking IP.
Well, but that's the thing with James Cameron is all his entire career has been betting his career
Yeah.
every step of the way, every step. Like after Terminator, he bet on his career. Like, okay, I'll do Aliens. Bet on his career on the Abyss. Wasn't a huge hit. That's okay. There's Terminator 2 and True Lies, and then has enough equity to do Titanic, which was supposed to destroy him. Guess what? It didn't. And then he takes like a 10-year break, and it's like, okay, what the hell is an Avatar thing? And then he did it again. Like I never bet against him ever.
Yeah. And also, here's another one that's going to be in there as well. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2. That one's going to be there. Though I kind of
Mm,
worry that that one's going to like suffer the same fate as like Lego Movie 2, where
mm.
it's good, but it didn't do as well as the first one.
Well, I again, Lord and Miller are a few people I trust, but
Yeah.
I know like well, Lego's problem wasn't so was that they just oversaturated it too quickly.
Yeah.
Like they could they should instead of Lego Ninjago or whatever, they should have just done Lego 2 then.
Oh shit! And here's something else here. Lightyear. You know that Pixar film starring Chris Evans? That's coming out next year too. It's like holy shit! Like
Wow.
damn, there is so much like big theatrical movies coming out yet next year that it's crazy that this is going to be like, dude, it's going to be a bloodbath for
I
like
mean, not
some,
even
some.
mention what comes out on streaming exclusively because I think Netflix has a couple like stuff coming out next year
Yeah,
too.
that's going to be The Gray Man as well. That one's coming out next year as well with the Russo brothers. I'm actually that one's actually I'm pretty excited about. You know.
And yeah, they'll be fine. Like it's more in their wheelhouse. Like I think Cherry was a noble failure on their part. I just don't think they're the people yet to be able to do that kind of movie.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree with you on that. I mean, I still liked it, but I can
No,
understand its
it's
faults
fair.
there.
I know it's fair. Like I like Holland's good in it. It just like I
Yeah,
just one of those like I just wish someone else had made this because that's just not their thing. Despite all the things that we want to say about that, like it's just not their bag, or at least right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
And
But
that's okay.
did you actually know something? Actually, know you know what they did actually after Extraction?
Hmm.
They produced this other little like Netflix film called Mosseel. It actually did pretty good on there. It
Yeah,
was about that one. That one was actually pretty good too as well. You know.
I think there's another Disney one I'm missing. There's
Oh,
something.
Hercules. They're producing the Hercules one as well, and they're also doing another.
Oh, is it a Mermaid next year? Or is it 23?
That's gonna be 2022 next year. Yeah.
Wow. When is it supposed to? Is there a date yet or no?
Mermaid. Let me see here. Let me
I
see
know they're
here.
shooting it.
All right. That's gonna be. Actually, wait. No, it doesn't have a release date just yet. So
It
I'm
seems like a
not.
23 to me because if they're filming it now and they probably
They
won't
actually
have
finished
it.
actually filming it. Actually,
Oh, really? They wrapped? Okay, because
it's
I just saw
wrapped.
the one still. I wasn't sure if there was like, hey, guess what? We're filming this.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be crazy because again, there is just so much stuff coming in 2022. So like, which
Mm,
ones do you think are gonna be like the big ones here? Because like I think the Ari Aster film is gonna do great.
mm.
I think Jordan Peele is gonna do good. I'm not sure about Scorsese's film like doing well in theatrically.
Well,
I think The Irishman did great like on streaming, but
we don't know.
I think Scorsese kind of overestimates like his like
Mm-mm.
you know
Here's
you
what I'll
know
say about that. Since it's going to be an Apple movie, like I honestly don't think like theatrical is sort of just going to be gravy.
yeah
Like now, like what Apple really wants, and the reason why they're willing to fork over two million,
prestige. They want prestige.
they want it's like, hey, we want to be the first streamer to win an Oscar,
Hmm.
and Netflix has been trying forever, and I just don't think it's going to happen.
But
But
didn't they
for
like win foreign film though?
they won
Technically,
foreign film, but I mean like Best Picture.
okay, that's
Like
true.
they've won like awards, but they haven't had like the big one. Like
Yeah.
there hasn't been like a Ted Sarandos Oscar movie yet.
Okay.
And with this, like, it doesn't really need to make back its $200 million budget because, like, Apple just needs content. They need something to like grab your eyeballs. They've been lucky
Yeah.
with the TV side of things.
Yeah.
Their stuff has just worked, but like with their films, like it's been very hit or miss. Like they have Joel Cohen's Macbeth movie, I believe, coming to Apple
Yeah.
in the fall. Like that's
Yeah.
a start, but like I think that's what they're really trying to build. What
Yeah. Totally.
is we want to be an Oscar player. We want to be a place where you can go and it's a relation movie theatrical. They want to be what Amazon pretends to be, but on a
Yeah.
large scale because they can spend more because Amazon for whatever reason only wanted indie.
Yeah.
But I think that'll be okay. I think with Ari Aster, I think that's one of those film Twitter's not real life things for me.
Yeah.
Is because like Midsommar wasn't like this huge breakout hit. It did fine, and like Hereditary did fine, but like I think it's one of the he's a movie nerd guy, which is
Yeah.
fine. But like I don't think in the real in like to the John Q popcorn guys,
Hmm.
I don't think Ari Aster has much equity yet.
Yeah. All right.
It's not his fault. He's a good filmmaker. I'm just saying like you
Oh
know
yeah. Totally. But
I don't. Peel will no whatever Nope ends up being. I think he'll be fine. Like
yeah.
people forget how big of a hit Us was.
Yeah, Us was I actually did really like Us a lot more than I thought it would. I've watched it a couple more times. I've actually really like it a little bit more than Get Out. Get Out is a little more intense.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it has more shock value. It's more exciting than Us, but I kind of like Us a little bit more because it's more he has a more mellow style to that one.
I
You
wish
know.
should have been released in the fall.
Yeah,
Even though they were proven right because it made a ton of money and did very very well. But like if us had come out like around Halloween, it would have made a little bit probably a little bit more money, but also Lupita probably is in the awards conversation
yeah.
as she should have been.
If all these movies came out next year and Martin Scorsese a movie here, I just hope to God we don't have another like Scorsese versus Marvel thing because that's just so tiresome.
Well,
Just don't do that.
well, they're gonna keep asking because it's always fun and it tries to click, but it's not really any him versus anybody. He's just like, yeah, these aren't for me. It's
Yeah,
cool.
that's it. It's like
I get it.
we leave the guy alone. All right.
Exactly. Like it's fine. Like they want they try to do it like with Tarantino too. It's like I mean, he likes Marvel, some of them, but like it's fine. Like the actual guy isn't necessarily like everything you like. It's fine.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree with that. But yeah, getting down the list here, like which blockbusters do you think are gonna like break out this summer here? Like DC, Star Wars, DC, Marvel, Indiana Jones 5, Avatar, John Wick,
I think
Scream,
I don't think
Halloween ends.
I
Yeah,
don't think
Scream.
I don't think Scream will be a hit. I just think it's kind of because they already had the show on MTV, and that really wasn't a huge deal either.
Yeah.
Like I just don't know unless they really totally reinvent Scream. Like I don't know what you're getting.
Okay.
Um, and like I
Sonic
think
2.
Sonic
That's
2, I think it'll be fine. It'll be a triple. It'll do very well.
okay.
Jurassic Park's obviously going to do gangbusters.
Mhm.
I think Indy will as well. Like I just think it'll just. I guarantee you, when the first trailer drops, um, most like if I were to take a guess, I would say either with Doctor Strange or even earlier if they put it with Spider Man, or even
Mhm.
with like something like a West Side Story. But I think the first trailer, everyone's like, "Oh shit, this looks like Indy again."
Yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
totally agree with that.
that one will be a hit. I think Avatar 2 is going to be a ginormous hit. I
Do you
think
know which two
Marvel
are actually gonna like steal the show this next year? You want to know which ones
no,
that they're
probably
gonna really do it?
a lot. Cause a lot of them already feel like ready made to be hits. Like John Wick 4 isn't going to steal anything because it's already John Wick.
Yeah.
I think, damn, like, I have the list in front of me. I think though, like, because like again, on Halloween ends, it's going to be Halloween ends. Like it's already going to be a hit. I think Nope will end up being a hit, but I'm trying to think here, like, because all the stuff that's coming out next year, I think the one that has the biggest chance to differentiate itself would be Black Adam, and
All right.
that's gonna obviously come more when the first trailer drops because they've been teasing that forever. But I think
You,
that'll
what,
be
well, what to me are like the biggest wild cards this year are gonna be Matt Reeves, the Batman, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and I would say the Flash. I think
those
those
two
three are.
kind of Flash is a wild card,
Yeah. Why would you
but
say that?
well, because that's one of those where like the TV show's already a success, and I think there's still at a Justice League stank that doesn't really affect Batman because it's a new Batman anyway, and
Hmm.
Harry's Batman will be fine. Like I'm not worried about that one at all. Same with Doctor Strange; those are going to be huge. And they've done a really good job like building towards Doctor Strange and like getting all the Marvel people accustomed to what the multiverse would look like because that's what most movies and television were about.
Yeah, and plus they
And
got a solid
even
director behind it as well, and Sam
yes,
Raimi.
totally true. And Spider
Better than
Man,
Scott Derrickson. I'm sorry.
oh, that's rude.
I'm
Um,
sorry. All right. I mean, I like the first Doctor Strange, but honestly, I feel like Sam Raimi's more of an
it's
upgrade.
oh yeah, but I mean like they're kind of two different people.
Yeah.
But with Spider Man's gonna further buttress what like the multiverse could look like too. Like it won't be like this huge thing that they have to sell. It won't be like Guardians One. It's
Yeah.
like oh crap, how do we sell a talking tree?
Totally.
So those would be cool. Like, and that race Batman, like, just based on the reaction to like the first teaser, it's
Mhm.
gonna be gangbusters.
Yeah, but I do think it's kind of like in a shitty little release date. Like I feel like if I think in a perfect world, I feel like the best release date for it would have actually been October 1st, 2021. That's when it would have released like this year.
I think their thing is they're like there's already just so much. Like, let's just own like one weekend.
Totally. Yeah.
Because this whole year, like, I don't think you'll see a lot of things like you'll see anything stick around after 1 week. Like,
Yeah.
unless it's like Bond,
Yeah.
where it'll like linger. But like, I just don't because there's so much.
Yeah.
And
Totally agree with you on that.
and it's also just like we don't know what the pandemic's going to look like in the fall because we just don't know. That's what
Nobody
I'm thinking
knows.
22. So it's like they have more distance.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, but to answer your question for your wild cards, like I said Black Adam seems like a wild card, and I think Turning Red will be one. It'll be like the whole because it's the first Pixar to be released totally in theaters. Lucas would
yeah.
have been in that list, but I don't know what happened there.
Can I before you
What's
do that? Can I just say, the Pixar has really like found its way again. To be honest with you, I think they were in a slump with their sequels, but after Onward, I fell in love with Onward and Soul, and I actually really like Luca. I'm back on board in the Pixar train, man. It's like, yeah,
I
bring it
never
on.
never left. I know I get the sequel thing was like frustrating for people, but like Coco was also we've been there,
Totally.
and Inside Out was we've been there. I love Monsters University.
Yeah.
So like that doesn't bother me. It's more of the cars. Like the cars thing is really I think where people have problems with sequels. Like I even like Finding Dory.
Yeah.
And that was a monster hit. So like they were justified in doing that. But yeah, like I think they're like Pete Doctor sort of like we're weaning away from sequels. Like I know Lightyear feels like the cost of doing business, and it will
Hmm.
do really well.
Hmm.
Like that'll be a huge hit. But like yeah, Turning Red I think will be the first. Where like oh Pixar's back everybody, and it's like they never left people. They never left. I promise
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Onward was
It's
good. It's Onward bombed because like
the
things were
pandemic.
getting good. That was the early pandemic victim.
That
Soul
wasn't. It wasn't their fault, y'all.
mm-mm.
Sorry, Scott.
Soul,
That's
Soul would have been a ginormous hit if it would have been released around Thanksgiving.
total. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, getting back to the wild cards there.
I don't know because like a lot of the stuff you listen to mine, a lot of it just seems like it's ready made. The Flash seems like a wild card just because it's been such a mess to get there.
What about
But
Morbius?
that's a wild. See, that's a wild card, and I don't think that'll do well. But then again, I thought Venom was gonna not do well. Morbius could, but like I just don't want to see that. Like I'm not a huge Jared Leto guy, to be
Yeah.
honest. Like I'm very
I
like he's not for me.
yeah. Can I just say this? The Sony Marvel movies just yikes. Look,
But
I'm sorry, guys. Look, you know what, Amy Pascal. I know it's cute, it's adorable, but you got especially after Venom, like that movie sucks. I know people say Into the Spider Verse, but like, dude,
what?
like into the spot, but Into the Spider Verse is like Phil Lord and Chris Miller. Like, okay, Spider Woman, that's probably going to be good because it has Olivia Wilde behind it, and also like Craven has like a pretty solid
What's like
director in
the Gina
Triple.
Prince Bythewood movie?
Wait, what?
Gina Prince Bythewood's doing a spider or something. Or is it Silk Spider?
I don't I at this point I at this point, like, a lot of those just seem like,
She's
oh, we're
back
just
in
gonna
the
put it
show.
in a slot there and just not do it there because
I know.
it's
Sorry, I was like, oh yeah, she's got like a spider one too, and I'm very curious about because I like her a
yeah,
lot. And I think the old guard did a lot for her in terms of
totally.
being able to do that.
Oh, that was Silk and Sable. That was like Silver and
Mhm.
Sable. Yeah, that
Okay,
Silver
there you
Sable
go.
movie and then the Black Cat movie. Like that actually got canned though. Like, and then it got split into
Mm,
two movies.
okay. Well, I first of all, like I mean, that Sony stuff has been working because like Venom was a gigantic hit,
It was a
and
hit, but I didn't really like the movie. Like, it was
I
like,
thought it
oh
was very fun. Like, and I'm really glad they're giving Tom Hardy more control over stuff for
yeah,
Venom 2, because he's the right kind of weird that I want like Marvel to kind of do once in a while.
yeah,
Like, I don't know if
okay.
you saw. Do you ever see that show he did, Taboo?
Oh yeah, I did see that one.
Like, we're just like Tom Hardy just doing batshit things. Like, that's what I want.
Yeah,
And if he's gonna bring
okay.
that energy to Venom, cool man. Like,
Look at. I hope it's good, but I'm just kind of nervous about Andy Serkis as a director. Like, I saw his Jungle.
I don't pin that on him. Like that was one of those like let me just show you like what things can look like, and they
Yeah,
got market corrected by Favreau, unfortunately. And I love
yeah,
Favreau stuff, but like I just like
yeah.
he really just wants to make Animal Farm, and no one will let him.
Oh yeah, he was. Isn't he doing that on Netflix though? Like,
Maybe I don't know if he
y-
still is.
yeah, because
But
because again, it's like that's like in like development hell there, where like, oh, we're gonna work on it, but honestly, you're just kind of like smothering the project
if
there.
Venom 2 is a hit, which I think it will be, then he'll get his Animal Farm movie.
Oh yeah,
Like that's
totally. But again, I'm just kind of curious about what that Spider-Man deal will like be like after Far From Home, after No Way Home, and that like and there's like other cameos he's gonna do. What I think is gonna happen is that I think they're still gonna share the Spider-Man character, but they're not gonna do a fourth movie. I just feel like they're just gonna like share cameo things of Tom Holland throughout their movies
maybe
there.
Well, I don't know if you saw, but I think in the Hawkeye show, D'Onofrio's coming back as Elizabeth Best.
Yeah, but that's not Sony. That's
Well, no, but that would be what I would do for a fourth movie. Is like,
yeah,
or that, or you just because like Spider-Man, Punisher, Daredevil are all Kingpin adversaries.
yeah. But
They're all,
what do you think's gonna happen to Spider-Man after No Way Home? Do you think they're gonna?
it depends on Tom Holland. Because like if Uncharted's a hit, then he'll probably leave a lot sooner. But if Uncharted bombs, which I think it will, because I don't think anyone cares anymore.
Yeah,
About Uncharted, sorry, like I just
yeah.
if it were like 10 years ago, Nathan Fillion was doing it, then it's gonna be a hit. But it's I just
I love you, Tom Holland. You're one of my favorite actors, but dude, you're not get that movie's just not gonna wait.
well, yeah, and like Uncharted, if Uncharted bombs, which I think it will. I don't wish any ill will, but like I just think it will because Tomb Raider bombed too.
Yeah,
Like the video game movies are still in a weird place, but when that he'll stick around with Spider Man, like he'll see because we saw this with like Chris Evans, which bums me out, or not Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, which bums me out. It's like he did a lot of really good like stuff in between fillers, but
yeah.
nobody did see it. Like Rush is amazing.
Rush is
At that,
fucking fantastic.
at that time, it was Real Royale. He's really good in.
He does
Um,
have an extraction though. That is a big hit.
That
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 is
one,
a
that's a Netflix movie. Like, there's no metric for how well that did. Like, how would it have done if they released it in theaters? We don't
oh
know.
yeah, that's true.
That's
Yeah,
the thing. Like, Netflix, we don't know
hmm
because they don't release their numbers, and even if they did, I don't trust them.
yeah. Don't
Um,
trust him.
but I, but like, he also was like the only good part of Vacation. He was like good in Ghostbusters, but like, he
Yeah,
and like whatever, and in the Heart of the Sea bombed, but which fine. But I think a lot of the Marvel people took their cues from that. Like, oh shit, like Hemsworth can't become a star off of this. Like, and he's doing good stuff. Like, this, what
hmm
about the rest of us?
yeah. Because the thing about that is that I almost thought Tom Holland almost broke that of like Onward and actually no, I think the one person that's actually broken the curse in that is actually Scarlett Johansson and Chris Pratt. They're still holding out hope for those.
Did they though? Like, cause the thing with Pratt is like passengers. Well, wait, was Passengers a hit?
No, Passengers sucked as a movie. So like
No, but did it bomb? I think it did.
it did
Like,
bomb, but
but
also
like
Mavic 7 didn't bomb though. That was a hit too. Like
that was a hit. But I think that wasn't really a Pratt movie. It was like Denzel, and then Pratt's just there for the ride. Like,
yep.
we don't know because like Pratt's big hits have all been franchise movies.
Yeah.
There hasn't been an original Pratt movie that's launched, and like unless you want to count like voice work, which would would help out Holland a lot, but like it
Mhm.
hasn't been like Tom Holland hasn't had like his own good example of this. I don't know, like he hasn't had his own movie that was like a hit or even like a double. He hasn't
Dude,
had it.
Henry Cavill must be sweating like crazy right now. Like after he must be sweating hard for that new Bond role, man. Because like holy shit, like
I don't think it'll be him though.
yeah,
They're not
I
gonna
don't.
do it. They're gonna go in a whole different. I think they'll go like post Craig. They'll go in a whole different direction with it. Like it wouldn't surprise me if like Riz Ahmed's your new Bond. Like that
All
would be
right,
cool.
cool.
Like
Yeah, totally.
you know what I mean? Like I just don't think they're gonna be willing to go for like a Henry Cavill type anymore.
Yeah,
But I think like, yeah, Holland. He doesn't have a whole lot of life outside of the MCU. Pratt really doesn't either. Like if anything, like pre MCU, Pratt had more equity because he was in a lot of very interesting stuff.
yeah,
Like
and
well,
that's
sorry.
yeah, and that kind of goes back to like what Mendelsohn was saying about like the broken star problem, and it started with like
Yes.
Orlando Bloom. So if you want to get into that a little bit,
Well, yeah, I mean, he was someone like my joke with him is always like he'll never be in a hit movie that takes place in modern times. Like it's either Pirates or Lord of the Rings,
yeah.
and even Troy. But
Oh yeah, he was in
like
Troy too.
he's fucking he's Paris. He's the one who takes Helen with him.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's a good example. Honestly. Yeah, that doesn't happen, and we've seen a lot of people where they try to make them happen, and it just happens.
Yeah.
And like there's like Joel Kinnaman they try to make happen, and good for him for landing on a For All Mankind. But like
Hmm.
he's not a movie star. Scott Eastwood's not a movie star. Greg Courtney's not a movie star.
Hmm.
Or me when I'll fill in the blank. Like they just haven't created.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. Again, a lot of those are like very talented actors. I mean, like a lot of
Yeah.
the MCU actors are very talented. A lot of the like I was kind of curious about like how like I think. even Ben Affleck's not even technically a movie star.
Well, yes, he is. Like the thing with him, like, and this the pet peeve of mine is people call anything a comeback after like one bad movie. Like, it's just not a comeback. Like the way
Yeah,
bad you think it would be, because like, well, he's had all this personal turmoil and like, but he's like he's still Batman not that long ago, and it was a
yeah,
big hit. And
yeah,
like I think he would have been directing a Batman movie if Live by Night hadn't bombed. But Live
yeah.
by Night bombed. Like I,
Or like all the Justice League stuff that happened like in between that as well.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That
And
just kind of broke him, man. That just
no,
really broke him.
he's still okay. Like he's not like it works narratively because he just seems like the kind of like, or when they're like, oh, Brad Pitt had a comeback, like he never went anywhere. He was fine. Like, or they're calling or when Downey, they're like, oh, his HBO Max HBO miniseries, that's gonna be a comeback. Come back from what? He didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, you
It,
know what I
it,
mean?
it's really crazy, man. Again, like because so like it's kind of weird because again, I love all these actors. I just hope they find like success out of that, whether it's a streaming show, whether it's like streaming movies or stuff like that. I'm kind of curious. I mean, I think they will still find work though. I think they
No,
won't be
all
like,
right.
yeah, but
Like,
like will they like be mega hits? Like I don't know. I feel like we're like I think the only two like big movie stars right now are honestly the big ones, and this is going to be a huge test. Like Netflix should be promoting the fuck out of that movie with Ryan Reynolds and Dwayne Dodge because to me those two,
and that,
yeah, and also and Leonardo DiCaprio as well. But again, as I was saying before, like what Scott was saying before was that like Hollywood over the last couple of years was trying to find the next like Leonardo DiCaprio when they really should have been finding the next like Will Smith, something
they're
like
looking for
along those
Cruz
things there,
more
right?
than DiCaprio.
Yeah,
They,
or
yeah,
not next.
yeah, they're looking for the next Cruz, like someone who could open Jerry Maguire Mission Impossible the same year.
Yeah.
The thing with with DiCaprio is in an interesting spot because he's more occupying the old school like Jack Nicholson, Warren Beatty style, where it's like come down from off high to make a movie once in a while, and I'll be a huge hit.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, he has Don't Look Up, which it's really weird for him to work like that soon after. Like, he's not as well. No, he's like weirdly prolific when he wants to be.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, Don't Look Up. But he's part of an ensemble, which is also a new thing for him.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what that movie will ultimately end up looking like. And because there's just so many people in that movie.
Hmm.
But like Downey's a little interesting one for me because like I want to see what he does. Because the miniseries he's doing for HBO is really intriguing. Like I thought he should have been Perry Mason instead of just producing it. And I wonder if he's going to be the one that's like, I'm going to start using his equity in interesting ways. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I feel like a lot of the directors from the super movies use their equity in a lot of interesting ways. I feel like even though you didn't like Cherry, like they produced like a lot of cool like other stuff outside there, and also I think like Taika Waititi is a great example of that as well,
Mm,
and stuff like that. So I feel like he's gonna be the first star one to like get like stuff that really hits there, and plus Sweet Tooth did very well on Netflix as well, which is something Downey produces as well. So that is a hit, I guess.
okay. Sorry, real quick. Whenever whenever Next Goal Wins comes up, that'll decide where. Like Jojo Rabbit was a hit, but it also won an Oscar. But like, I want to see if he can get Next Goal Wins to get hit, then he'll be fine. Like, because I know he's got Thor, but he's also got a Star Wars that he's doing. But like, I think he'll be like one that's totally fine.
Yeah, totally. I hope so, man. And also Ryan Coogler as well. Like he also has another.
Oh, he's way more than fine.
Yeah,
Like whatever Black Panther 2 does, like I think it's he'll be able to do whatever he wants, and he already did do whatever he wants. He made Space Jam 2 happen.
yeah.
It's the
That's
worst.
yeah. It was bad.
Without him, you don't get it. Well, still, like, he made that happen.
Yeah, totally. And also, but like getting back, sorry to get back to the Russo brothers. Like,
Yeah,
what do you think? Where are you going to see like people like Zack Snyder and the Russo brothers in the next couple of years? Do you think they're going to be fine or
well, because signed an overall deal with Netflix, so I don't
yeah,
know. Like that's the thing with Netflix is like gives you cover.
yeah,
Like you're pretty sure people will at least watch the 6 minute, like the first like 2 minutes of whatever you're doing,
yeah,
as that number release showed, like they'll like people will fucking watch 2 minutes of anything.
yeah,
But what is fine? Like, will he be able to do his Fountainhead movie? Probably. Will the Russos be able to do whatever they want on Netflix? Probably. But like whether that's successful, we won't know.
all
Like
right,
that's because Netflix. That's Netflix's biggest advantage. Just like unless something is like there's like stories about something being a disaster, like not the Get Down. That wasn't really a disaster. It's just expensive and really tough to make. But like I don't know, what's a movie that they had that had a lot of drama. Like I feel like a lot of Chalamet, that Last King or whatever, like
Hmm.
that, like a weird vibe to it. But like if that doesn't happen, they're fine. Like they're Netflix, they can lie about their numbers.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think they'll be able to bounce for streaming services right there. But yeah, I'm very curious to see like, and also fucking Matt Shankman who directed fucking
Uh,
did WandaVision is actually doing another one called is actually doing a fourth Star Trek movie, which I guarantee is not happening, man. They've been trying to get that up for years.
I feel bad too because like there should have been like five Star Trek movies in that cast.
Yeah, and it's a great series, and it's just
Well,
I feel like Secret Hideout kind of just like with their like TV show, it's kind of saturated the Star Trek thing there.
I think what happened was, and like Scott's written about this a lot, is like Into Darkness. There was like, even though it did well, like people forget it actually did do very well. It took so long to get going because like it came out like what 4 years after the '09 track.
Yeah, it's 4 years. Yeah,
Like and had it done, it would come out a little sooner, and then they could have like quickly gotten someone else after JJ signed out of Star Wars. I just think they waited too long, and like the people's attention spans aren't what they were anymore. Like you can't really, unless you're Cameron, you can't really have like a long gap between sequels and have it be guaranteed hit. And I just think that we into it. And then it took forever after Into Darkness to get Justin Lin to do Star Trek Beyond, and then by then people just didn't care anymore, unfortunately.
yeah. Okay, and okay, there's actually one other project here I was actually kind of interested in here. So there actually was something with Joe and Anthony Russo directing Electric State with Andy Muschietti producing, and Millie Bobby Brown is there, and I think it's going to
Yeah,
be like a I think it's going to be it's going to be a 2022 movie. So they will have two movies coming out next year. So that's crazy, man.
are they both Netflix?
I'm not sure about Netflix, but where the fuck is it? Like, it's not sure yet. I think maybe it could be theatrical, but I think it'll probably just be like Apple again.
Hmm.
Because even if Cherry did bomb, I think it still did fine.
I don't know. Again, like I don't know what it did on streaming, but they also wanted that to be like a Tom Holland for Best Actor play, and that just fizzled out. Like the reception of it wasn't great.
Yeah,
Like
fair
they
enough.
can just do whatever they want forever. Like they'll just be at Netflix, and it'll always say like from the directors of Avengers Endgame.
Yeah,
Like
that's
they
true.
can sign off that forever as they should. But
Yeah.
it depends what they want to do.
Yeah, well, that's true there. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff there, but yeah, a lot of interesting stuff happening like with like box office again because like next year I think will be like when we're fully back from the box office there. I think we're just sort of getting the engine started this summer. I think we'll like shift into gear a little bit this fall, but I do worry that there's going to be a lot of like just sort of like counter just boom, 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 boom there. And I feel like in 2022, I think we're going to be full throttle there. So like, I think the last question here is like, so like, so do you think we'll be able to like, this is going to be the last question I'm going to have for you. Then we'll probably end it here. So do you think 2022 will be like the next 2015? Do you think this will be like a way to like reignite, movies again in a way that,
I because I think we're not gonna really know anything about like how well anything's doing this year unless it's like so started.
Mhm.
There's like not all theaters are open. Like even in LA and New York, they're just not. You need and those are what you need to boost your numbers. And we we just won't know. I don't like until like every available theater can be open and we're not having to worry about capacity limits for stuff. We just don't know. And
Yeah,
that's been like really hard because everyone wants to have their like wants to have a take, but it's difficult to read into. Well, do people just not want to see Dune or Black Widow, or do people really only come out for Bond? And if so, like, well, how many of them are just waiting for it to show up on Amazon because they own it now? I don't know. Like, we, it's uncharted waters, and anyone that like claims that they know authoritatively anything is lying.
fucking bullshit. Yeah,
Yeah, like so that's what Scott's been writing too about the box office. Like we just don't know anything. Like
yeah.
it's a whole new landscape whole new world, and everything's going to do what it does, but like we won't be able to take any lessons from it. People will still try. Like,
Yeah,
people
it's
try
gonna be
to take
crazy.
lessons, but no one knows anything, and it's
Yeah,
hard to know what actually works and what lands with people and what doesn't. So
yeah,
who knows? Like maybe by March, like when you have Doctor Strange and you have the Batman, we'll know we'll be much firmer ground. But who's to say?
yeah. It's gonna be crazy, man. Because again, there's gonna be a lot of content coming out the next year and a half that may just kind of undercut each other, and I hope and I really hope that they have room to succeed, man. Because again, there's a lot of great stuff coming out. I just wonder how
Who has the most?
good, how well it's gonna do, and again, a lot of this comes down to marketing because stuff like Dune, like again, as he was saying before, it's like Warner Brothers, like is like whether you like him or not, is the king at making like stuff
Mm-hmm.
not generally there like stuff that you have to go see.
Yeah, I still haven't really cracked into the marketing. Like they've shown like, the images look really cool, but like to people like a lot of my friends don't really know what Dune is, so it isn't clear. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Something like I know all the people that ride for Dune are like, no, it'll be fine. Like, but like Lord of the Rings is simple. Take this ring. You and your group are gonna go on an adventure. It's gonna be fancy. You take a ring here. With Dune, it isn't clear like what it is yet, and it might be enough. I don't know, but like, eh, I just don't trust like the average audience to be like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree with you on that. And again, it's gonna be crazy there, but yeah, I don't know. Like, but like, and one final question here: what studio you think's gonna like rule 2022? Like, in your opinion, like
For
I
me,
I think Universal's gonna win 2021.
oh, it's studio. It's gonna depend. Like if all the release dates stay in amber, I think. I mean, the WB will have a good year if the DC stuff hits, because that'll carry them. And then I don't know
Yeah,
what else they have besides that. I know they got stuff, but I just offhand don't have it in front of me. But like they'll be fine. Disney will have a good year. Like they've got a lot of huge
yeah,
television stuff
and it won't be just Marvel carrying them.
No,
They will be
that'll
expanding their
be
IP stuff like
there's
Avatar and
Pixar. Well, like they have two, they have Turning Red, they have Lightyear, so those will be fine. Like Lightyear will be a huge hit.
yeah, and also Indiana
Um,
Jones and Avatar too as well. Those are gonna fill the Star Wars slot.
yeah, and I'm sure there'll be like one or two things that like that are able to like break out from something that like I don't know. I mean, what does Universal have besides Jurassic?
It's gonna
Mm,
be Halloween Ends, and I believe there's like another
Those are good.
Blumhouse film there. Oh, they're gonna have Minions too as well.
Yeah, so it'll be fine. I don't think it'll be like it'll be a WB Disney year unless like something.
It would be a neck break tie there, and then Paramount would
Yeah,
just sweep in with like I don't know.
they'll have like one or two things. They'll have a couple doubles, or they'll just sell something that they're not sure about to Amazon and just make their money back that way, like they did with Coming to America and Tomorrow War.
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy, man. So that was our podcast here, man. Dude, this was like I gotta say, man, this is like my favorite podcast here because I'm sorry I was
Um,
interrupting you out there. It
oh,
was just fun talking about box office with you, man. Like I hope we get to do this again here. So do you have any final thoughts to say about the audience, the solid four people that watch this?
no, just check out LA Potential. I get guests once in a while, but our flagship show is really fun too. We were talking about all the trailers that came out last week. So we talked about Last Duel, Jackass Forever, Dune, Reservation Dogs, and damn it, there's another trailer, but I don't remember. The next I'm going to be talking about Old. I saw that last night. And then the NFL training camp opens up. So if that's your bag too, then we have a lot on that. Plus Dodgers and Lakers and stuff too.
Cool, man. I'll check it out. So anyway, guys, that's our podcast. Thank you guys for checking out of this episode. I know it's super long, but hey, you get to know the nitty gritty about the film business in this podcast. So
There's only 2 hours literally,
thanks.
so don't feel bad
Yeah.
at all if you want.
And I hope we get to do this again, man. I love your analysis. I wish I had a better microphone, but
Yeah.
just next time we could do that. But yeah, but anyway, hopefully there's going to be a lot more episodes coming up here. Catch you later.